Hello and welcome to SDK TV, powered by Data Meaning and brought to you by Darren Holmblad. Today we're going to talk about adding custom fonts to MicroStrategy Web, which is a topic we've covered before, but we're going to go a little more in depth and show you how to add custom font sizes to MicroStrategy Web. So custom font sizes can be added via MicroStrategy SDK. New font sizes will be available through properties of elements which font sizes can be applied to, such as text box. MicroStrategy Mobile will interpret fonts saved into the metadata and render them as you would see on MicroStrategy Web. Font sizes are applied to MicroStrategy Web HTML through the use of CSS. This customization is fairly straightforward, and we're only going to really need to alter one file, which is the font size picker.xml. New font sizes will require the following: a position and a definition. Below we can see an example of this format. We can see that we have a name which is PKR80PT, and that format is important, and I'll actually show you the out-of-the-box font size picker.xml, which is how I discovered how to perform this customization. So let's go ahead and first look at the out-of-the-box font size picker.xml. I have a MicroStrategy 941 environment, and we're going to go into the web and if directory, XML, and then config, and hopefully find this file. Let's see, font size picker, here it is. So we're going to go ahead and open that with a text editor, and we can see here that we have a shortcut list. The name is size picker, and within that we have attributes ty and pkr, and then a number of shortcuts. So in the shortcut we can see that the first shortcut is defining the font size of 2 and has a description of 2 and the PKR prefix, and then 2PT, which stands for point. So based on this out-of-the-box font size picker, we can then perform this customization. In my opinion, it's easier to manually create this font size picker.xml file, but I will show you in the WCE where you can find this this file to customize. So this is important here. The font size picker.xml, the name is actually size picker, which is what we see here. So inside of the WCE, under application settings, MicroStrategy web configuration, and system pickers, we can see the size picker. So from here we can add a new attribute and a new value, which would then create an additional node in that file, and it would create a font size picker in your plugin. To see this system pickers, you may need to enable the additional properties for MicroStrategy WCE, and we can see that in the advanced options. When I install the WCE, I usually just check all, because I'll be looking at a number of those. So that's where it is in the WCE. I've actually created this file already, so I'm going to go ahead and open up my custom version of the font size picker.xml. So I'm going to go in my plugins directory, and this existing plugin, new font sizes, web and if, XML, config, and go ahead and edit this file. So in here we can see that I've defined a number of things. So we can see that I have a shortcut list defined, and then a number of shortcuts which reference the out-of-the-box font sizes, and then some blocks of XML which represent custom sizes that I've created. So we can see here the first one has a description of 28, PKR 28PT. The position is 17, and that's the position it will display in the drop-down. And then it's got two attributes, which are kind of self-explanatory. So that's how you create a block for a custom font size. If I wanted to create another one here, I could just copy this and change the number. Say I want to do font size 29. And then I would need to increment all the positions. So let's go ahead and look at how this renders in MicroStrategy Web and how it's applied in MicroStrategy Web. And then once we do that, we'll look at MicroStrategy Mobile. So I have a document already called font sizes. And as I said, these can be applied to text boxes. So when you click on a text box, this kind of font picker expands or ungrays out, and you can choose a font. As I said, the position in the XML notes what position in the dropdown it will be. So if I counted this, our font, which was maybe 28 or 24, would be font position 17. So we can see that we have our custom fonts, goes all the way up to 80, which are defined in our custom font size picker XML, goes all the way up to 80. And I've applied those to some text boxes on my document. So let's go ahead and run this and see how that's applied in MicroStrategy Web with the developer tools. So if we bring up the developer tools, we can inspect this 80 font element. And if we look at the CSS over here, this is applied using the CSS for font size for 80 PT. So that's how it's applied in MicroStrategy Web. Let me bring up Reflector so I can show you how it looks in MicroStrategy Mobile. So I have this same document, font sizes, and I'm going to run it. And we can see here that the custom font sizes are in fact brought over to MicroStrategy Mobile and interpreted and rendered accordingly. So I haven't tested, all font sizes. So I'm not sure if anything that you give MicroStrategy Mobile, will be interpreted properly, but I've tried these 15 or so custom fonts. So just to recap, it is possible to add custom fonts in MicroStrategy Web and MicroStrategy Mobile. You do so by defining custom XML in the font size picker.xml file, which is found in the XML and config directory. This plugin will be placed onto the GitHub, and there'll be a link to that down below in the YouTube video. If there are any questions, feel free to comment or send me a private message. Thank you.